everyone, welcome back to the North American Challenger Series. It's the semifinals, and it's time for the second game here between Curse Academy and Team LOLpro. Curse Academy came up really big in game one, took that game over, and they got like 30 kills that game.
Oh yeah, the 4 out of 5 former LCS pros just wrecked that game. It was really, really crazy. They ran away pretty damn early. Saw ManCloud, he ended up that game 11-3 and 9, winning the lane against LOLpro's Lod, who is actually not a very easy person to win lane against, especially on Orianna.
Lod's been taking names for a while in the mid lane, but really the guy we got to talk about for Curse Academy, and the reason that ManCloud got so big was St. Vicious in the jungle. 8-2 and 14 for him. His Evelynn was ludicrously scary, and he set every single lane ahead. Yeah,
I was talking about how every lane had about 2 deaths on LOLpro's side at one point. It was just Saint visiting every lane, top, mid, bottom. He kept putting his pressure and distributing it perfectly based on jungle movement. He would go ahead and harass Rengar in the jungle.
Yeah.
He was on his game perfectly. You know, he missed a smite at Baron, but it wasn't stolen away from him by somebody else, just his own teammate.
It's okay. Give
it's
it
not a big thing.
No, and actually, when there was a Baron steal attempt, he secured it away from Heaven Time. He flashed into the pit, and Saint still got it. So, hey, props to you. Hit smites as well. Yeah, it's a bunch of players in Curse Academy playing incredibly well individually, Saint especially setting everybody up. And their style is so largely kill-focused, very roam-heavy. It's not a siege type of team, even though they could siege. They had the elements to do so actually quite well. But they were very kill-focused, and they would just keep setting up Baron and Dragon over and over and over again. I want to see if either LOLpro can switch their style up in a way that'll counteract this and just not face check as many brushes, or if they can just get their lanes in better shape, they'll be better off.
Well, you have to go through brushes to get to objectives. There's just no way to
go for turrets, man.
That.
Down the lane only.
That's the big thing there. Is you had to go down the lane. They did try that a couple times. They got an inhibitor turret for it, but when it came to that late game, and it's like, all right, Baron's on the table. The pink wards from Curse Academy just lasted so long because you just didn't have time as LOLpro to clear them out every time you would come even in a fight.
Yeah.
So then they ended up with complete control of the Baron area for like 15, 20 minutes in that game for Curse Academy. And they used it appropriately. They used it perfectly. They got Heaven Time a couple times, caught him out, and then they got Baron off of it. So really well played in terms of vision control for Curse Academy on top of just their kill game and their game sense. Really on point. Saint being like, I know what's going to happen here. I know how this matchup goes. I'm going to be ganking at this time, etc.
And he's always behind them in the right places, and it worked beautifully. Curse Academy looks like they're not going to make many new choices here. Syndra, Tristana, both removed away, because why wouldn't you against these guys? Gragas, Yasuo still on the chopping block. So Curse Academy last time around added Kassadin to this ban list, and they're going to have to make, arguably, probably choose a new third ban here for themselves. We know ManCloud will play the champion. So what do they add to the mix? Do they care about Haunter's Lulu?
Oh.
Wow, interesting. ManCloud doesn't want to play it.
Get out of jail free on that one.
So LOLpro might get to play same 3 bans. No, they add Cog to the impactful ban list.
It means they have a different priority right now. Kog'Maw, Tristana off the field. So if you pick Lulu, most likely you're going to pick a first rotation AD carry here for LOLpro to take away a contested pick that's left up.
Well, I think about it, though, and I don't know what else is on Heartbeat's pool that's so heavily contested. I don't think you've got to like rush pick a Corki. He could and say, hey, you know what, let's bully the lane instead of trying to pick 2 hyper carries, and you go for the big lane bully everyone's playing in Corki. That could be fine. I think there's a good chance you grab Braum here because he's just so strong, but it really depends on what LOLpro's plans are. Like, there's so many ways they could go that I can't easily predict here.
You have to pick up... All right, they're going to go with the Braum. That's going to leave Bunny Fufu with Thresh. And also Saint. Now, if he picks Evelynn, Elise is better in 2-on-2 skirmishes than Evelynn is, for sure.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's going to be able to kind of dissuade that pick by picking up the early Evelynn is pretty big.
So let's see what they go for. I do like the fact that Heaven Time went back to his Elise, though. He played so much of it leading into this game. The fact that he went for Rengar, wanted the Rengar-Ori combo, it didn't pay off. I like going back to things that did work for them when they were winning games. So one smart adaptation there. Curse Academy are going to grab some early lane aggression. Seems when Kog'Maw's gone, they say, all right, screw you, we'll win lanes this time. Curse Academy still waiting on their mid laner.
Yeah, the Corki pick, I thought there was going to be a Corki or something along those lines picked up first rotation for LOLpro.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many AD carry bans on the field, the top 2.
Yeah.
Jinx is still available.
Yeah.
And that might be what Heartbeat goes with.
And keep in mind, actually, Ziggs was banned around last time, actually, wasn't it? I forgot about that one. That was a Curse Academy ban, if I remember properly. So I don't know where I got the Kassadin from then, or the rest of these, because I remember seeing Ziggs banned, right? Unless that was that LoL Pro that banned Ziggs away. Because I'm like remembering the bans back, and I was like, I could have sworn I saw Ziggs getting dropped. I think it was LoL Pro that banned Ziggs, because I think Curse Academy ran the same 3 bans. Lod's going to get this champion potentially, which will set them up in a very different situation. Very high burst now for LoL Pro. Ziggs Bomb, Jinx Rocket. The chance for resets for Heartbeat is pretty high. This could be the makings of a very good team. Depends on their top lane, though.
There's a lot of wombo.
Yep.
Here, they didn't go with an Orianna to suck people in for the Super Mega Death Rocket. Instead, it's going to be a Mega Inferno Bomb Super Mega Death Rocket and also having the Glacier Fissure on top of it. Then they have Elise to just have some early game pressure to set up the lanes. We're going to have to see what they go with on Curse Academy, but last final pick here for LoL Pro. There's a couple of things that could fit into the composition, but we'll have to see what they end up going with, because they won't have the Lulu. They're going to need something else.
Well, looks like Curse Academy going to make almost no new choices here, unless they were basically forced to. I do like staying with what worked. I also do like sometimes making big tweaks in Game 2, because your opponent's like, prepare, okay, we're going to fix all these mistakes, and you come out there with new things they're not ready for. Sometimes it'll throw them off, and you've got the extra game to lose in the first place, but Curse Academy going to stick with what worked last time. And they think Chris can definitely dominate with top Lulu here, so Team LoL Pro to fit their comp together. It looks like they really want to team fight. So, do you split push against Lulu and hope that works, or do you have someone who's going to readily pull himself in and be part of that 5-on-5 battle?
Well, Lulu is most effective when you're grouped up in a team fight and you're helping somebody else. That's usually where she shines.
Yeah, true.
I mean, if you get a Lich-Bane second item, then you can take down some turrets pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I think depending on who they pick in the top lane here, it's most likely going to be a Lulu that shows up to the fights and plays that style for Chris.
I mean, for LoL Pro, though, I'm like thinking what their choice is now against this, because you know Curse Academy have stuff that's worked so far.
You could go ahead and play Ryze.
Yeah.
You can group up for the fights. They're going to go with a frontliner. Yeah, Mundo and Shyvana would be the two that I could think of. Mundo is actually seeing a lot more play recently, especially against Lulus and AP-based compositions. They may get a Morellonomicon, but it's still not a huge deal. It's
this weird mix of synergies and anti-synergies, because as you mentioned, right, Morellonomicon is such an easy buy in a top lane a top lane mage, and you're like, oh, but these Grievous Wounds are so easy to grab, they're going to run Ignite in the mid lane, oh, woe is me on Mundo, but at the same time, the thing with double AP comps is they're burst focused and pretty low sustained damage, especially a Corki in here for AD carry. There's not a lot of sustained damage, so if Mundo survives the front wave and then goes lol ult regen, suddenly your life is pain and Curse Academy can't get through him. So you're right, I do like the Mundo pick here. It does make sense with the double AP team. We'll see how Hanser does in the matchup. He was going to win this fight without jungle intervention, but Saint made Hanser's life miserable. We'll see if that happens again here in Game 2.
Another big thing with that, too, is you talked about the Corki. There's so much magic damage here for Curse Academy's composition. That LoL Pro, they're in a really good spot with that Mundo in the top lane. As soon as he starts getting the Spirit Visage, can be first item rush, no problem. Then he stacks on a Banshee's Veil, maybe a Warmog's. Right. He just keeps stacking on magic resistance, and then he's fine. Yeah. He doesn't really have to care too much about the Corki damage.
And the cool thing as well is this works for Elise on top of that one. You can just finish your Golem or Spectral Wraith and go right into Locket and have no qualms about that whatsoever. And you have pretty obvious build paths and very smart build paths here that can really ruin the mid game of Curse Academy, which is where they've shown the most, actually. Curse Academy got their lanes ahead, but then made play after play after play, picking up Dragon, setting up Baron. And if you cut that off by being unkillable, suddenly you've got a much better chance for LoL Pro, who I felt were playing largely well as a team until late game when they started falling apart just because they were so far down in gold.
I think the early game had a lot of hiccups for them. The first blood, then the fact that the top lane too far up, blowing flash is very haphazardly, not taking advantage of the fact that Man Clouds had his summoner spells down, bullying him. There's a lot of different things here they didn't take advantage of. They didn't kind of leverage the pressure or the little pressure points that they were given. They didn't push on them. Instead, they were like, all right, you know what, we'll wait until later. But, oh, we just got completely just stomped halfway through.
Yeah,
well, very hard position.
LoL Pro, guys looked a little bit bad at the end of the first game, and maybe it's just because they were so far down in gold, but they've got to regroup right now if they want that bye in the postseason and guarantee a top 4 finish in the playoffs. Of course, top 3 will make promo tournament, but it gives them a pretty good shot if they can make it here. So, LawPro looking for the comeback win. They need 2 straight victories here.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and I actually want to talk about it, is that the teams are just walking out right now, is the fact that both these teams are in playoffs, but a first-round bye means you are at least in the top 4, and 75% of the teams in top 4 make it. Only one of them who loses a third, fourth place match ends up not facing an LCS team.
Yeah.
So consider first-round bye. Chances are pretty damn good. I'd buy a lottery ticket on that one.
Yeah, 3/4 is pretty good odds. And I mean, think about it. It's just fun to think about the brackets as well. With Coast already getting the first bye, we know they're going to be top 2. We basically know that one of Coast or LawPro or Curse Academy are going to be in the promotion tournament. 100% one of those 3 teams will be in the promo tournament. Maybe all 3, potentially. Maybe 2, maybe 3, we'll see. It just depends on how it all shakes out. But you're going to be seeing more of those teams.
You're going to be seeing more of Team 8 as well as Wasabi Gaming.
See them in a quarterfinal.
Look at that. Both teams just walking through each other's jungles, putting down all the wards. But LawPro, they walked over a ward from Curse Academy. Where's the setup?
They all might be right on top of this blue buff.
Oh, it's the hook!
Look across the wall in Heaven Time. There's got to be real careful. First blood goes over to Corky. Curse Academy were there the whole time.
That single ward that was placed over in the vision game was so good by Curse Academy. They end up picking up a first blood again in this matchup.
The level 1 outplays strategically. So good from these guys. And of course, keep in mind, they can go for some damage on a Hanser there. He's going to lose some health as well. Heaven Time just getting back to the lane. Curse Academy don't commit for it. But of course, there's no spot on the other side.
Yeah, that's true. But Heaven Time, he has to get up here. He also has no flash. So that little 2-on-2 skirmish, if it ever happens, having that flash is pretty important.
Maybe not able to chase down St. Vicious or anyone else. Chris will TP in on this top lane. Plenty of consumables now in the inventory. Of course, you can ward against Elise, so he'll have that sight ward for himself. Hanser did pretty much the same thing, TPing top lane. Now the 2-on-2 looks like a very large wave here for Curse Academy. They're going to be level 2 pretty soon.
Yep, there it is.
Ooh, that was nearly on the Braum. That was close.
A little bit earlier than you would expect because of the first blood.
Tactful miss 2 CS.
Ooh. But he also got first blood, so it's all good.
Yeah,
7
like
CS
you're okay.
up.
I want to see how he cashes that out, actually, because you can go for the early recall on Phage, and you know you're going to be an item ahead of Heartbeat, who's going to have, like, if he recalls, a Doran's Blade. And I think it's a really good way to continue pressure on a lane matchup. Corky's already going to win that normally, but now you're like, I also have 20 extra AD. It's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, and then you have the movement speed on top of it. With the Thresh, if you do get a hook in, it's very hard to escape Corky that early on.
Already forcing him under the turret. Jinx actually one of the better turret last hitters, though, so that doesn't necessarily deny very much.
Yep. Heaven Time spot out by a ward by ManCloud. He has to back off this matchup here. Curse Academy can take it home, with LawPro even up the score. Let's see, they do have some good wave clear here, and Wombo combo in their composition. But the fact they already gave up a 500 gold lead to Curse Academy might just be tellings of basically a repeat of last game.
Well, absolutely. I mean, level 1 first blood's always a really rough thing to deal with. Curse Academy keeping the pressure on. Is worth pointing out, Hanser's doing well against Chris so far. Hanser did, honestly, again, aside from St. Vicious, reasonably well in the first game on top of that one. So that is one matchup I feel LawPro can continue to rely on. And Mundo's, of course, a great, reliable champion to have. He's going to keep putting out damage in fights. He's going to be hard to kill. So maybe LawPro can wait it out. Their actual late game in general is also very strong. So if LawPro are able to be a little bit patient, you know, not fight dragons they shouldn't, this could be a game that LawPro can win just by waiting around and not giving up any advantages.
Look at all this vision control here. We actually heard Kez talk about it. He rushed a Sightstone's second item after his jungle item on Evelyn.
Yep.
And the fact that so many wards are being purchased on the side of Curse Academy this early on, the pink ward on the right side jungle, the ward that's up a little further, they're trying to protect ManCloud in the middle and make sure that he doesn't get flipped behind, because we talked about it in the pregame. This is the matchup you have to watch, is that mid lane. Whoever gets ahead has a huge edge coming into the later game.
And we saw how much ManCloud did with that lead as well. The gigantic roams making kills happen. There's a double kill bot lane because of ManCloud coming down there, as well as a bunch of turret pressure. So yeah, it's a thing to keep in mind pretty heavily on both sides. But Saint looks for the top lane right here and says, you know what? There is no Elise around. And this a cool thing as well with high-level jungle style, which is you can play a game where you're saying, you know what, my lanes are all winning. If we just keep the laning phase going stable, we'll grow a giant gold lead. And if that happens, your goal as a jungler is often just keep tabs on the enemy jungler. Right? Saint's goal can just be find Heaven Time at all times and dare him to battle. Right? Be around for every counter gank. Keep all his jungle camps down. Keep him under level. Put wards in. And then you keep your team safe by this sort of preemptive counter jungling, or preemptive counter ganking almost. Look at that. You just wasted like 5 seconds trying to repel there.
5?
Close.
A little bit of an exaggeration there.
Okay, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Whatever the repel time is. I said about.
Okay.
Or like.
Rounded to the nearest 5th.
Why not? Heaven Time, though, does not... Oh, now he does. He walked by that ward, and out goes Chris. He's like, whoa, guys, I'm out of mana. I'm going to whimsy this one. Heaven Time can't get anywhere for that one.
Yeah, the ward coverage is just too good. He gets him.
That hook, though, is pretty awesome. Foster Bomb blocked by a shield there, and it's impactful. Trying to do what damage he can. Buddy Poop's on the other side of this one, so there's really nowhere for anyone to go. First kill picked up. Now Patoy forced to run. I'm not sure why he waited around so long, though. Second hook comes in, and oh no, Patoy, you are very much a dead man. Bunny Fufu wins a kill on that one.
You gave Bunny Fufu Thresh. You're going to pay for it. That brilliant hook there with the directional fake out of Thresh. Oh, Hanser top.
Ignite is on Hanser. Just barely lives, though. Heaven Time a little bit too late, but the roam all ready from ManCloud. Didn't need a kill. Didn't need to do anything, but just decided to leave his lane and show up.
Yeah, he went for the roam there, and Laud was a little bit behind him, but couldn't contribute to the fight at all. And actually, I want to go back to touching on the bottom lane here for a second, because the hook comes out, and there's just so much damage on him, and it looks like Heartbeat actually wants to go and take the Lantern, or fake out Impactful into clicking on the Lantern and taking it instead.
Yeah, that was strange.
A little bit of an overstay. And the thing on Patoy and Heartbeat is that they haven't played together for very long. They're both new additions to this team, despite being in this environment for only about 3 weeks, at the longest for, I believe, Patoy. Heartbeat is a very new addition. He's rarely scrimmed with them. I was talking to him a lot, and he's like, I was like, is he good? And he's like, I don't even know how he fits into the team yet. Because they just haven't had enough time yet.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for the team, but of course they made the choice themselves there. They think it's going to be worth it in the long run. Of course, as we talked about, they are in the playoffs, so if they can improve their roster or improve their synergy over time, then, well, we'll see better things from them in about a week's time. But actually, yeah, we'll see them in the third place match or the finals in a week's time, so for sure we'll see their next test soon. Hook not quite going to land. No gank yet for St. Vicious. Now, we are seeing significantly less pressure out of Saint, but again, he's keeping things from happening. Now he's going to show up. Heartbeat's got nowhere to go. Kill picked up. Patoy, only level 4. He does have Flash and Exhaust. I don't think it's worth using it, though.
Wow. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking those might have been some next level mind games. I think Bunny Fufu might have walked up, give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here, threw out the hook because it didn't look like it was going to hit. And as a Thresh main, you know that one wouldn't hit unless they kind of like juked into it, which was strange. Threw it out so that they thought the pressure was relieved. Came back in kind of in like a power vacuum because they knew that the hook was down. And then he flash flays.
Exactly.
It's a huge setup there. Laud going to try to go for the steal here. Does he get it?
Ooh, close, but a little bit too early. St. Vicious going to walk away pretty happily. Look at that. Again, gets a ward down in the enemy jungle before leaving and saying, well, now I'll heal up, but I'm going to track Heaven Time some more.
Yep, have a little bit of a present here. 5-0 first Dragon over to Curse Academy. Not a turret knocked down yet.
I feel like
side.
Yeah, but I feel like I've seen this before. It's LoL Pro without a kill, without a turret, without a dragon pretty early on in the game, whereas Curse Academy is on the scoreboard in most of those metrics, so
whoa.
The early game keeps going Curse Academy's way.
Heaven Time's going for an invade here off of, I don't know what is triggering this. Because usually when you go for an invade, you have the information you need about the enemy. Maybe it's because St. Vicious was back.
Yeah,
but
it was off the dragon.
The fact that ManCloud is also in that area and he still has enough mana to contest this, he still has his ultimate and his flash available. It's a very, very risky move, and they didn't have complete vision of the area either.
The thing is, that's the type of invade that's supposed to work. Like, remember casting a bunch of games. It was specifically an EU Challenger, actually. A lot of the teams that are going to have to play the tiebreaker or, around 5th seed, they would lose an objective, but they would just show up and go steal your blue buff because they knew there's no one around to stop you. And that was a 2-on-1. Like, ManCloud warded, and they said, never mind. But that was realistically a stealable buff.
Well, Chris came down too. So it was a 3-on-2?
But I feel like, I don't know, like, LoLPro, I feel like are giving up so many advantages here. Like, I know they're a late-game team, but you still got things that you can do based on numbers leads, especially because all the kills are only on Corki. Like, this gold lead is purely in the bot lane. It's nowhere else in this game right now.
2-on-2.
Well, Hanser's going to have to back away a little bit. St. Vicious takes a whole bunch of damage. Nice ulti comes across. Chris, does he want to stay in this fight? Well, Heaventime's not happy with that one, though, and Saint does stay alive.
Oh!
Ulti not going to do much either. I mean, Hanser left that fight so early, yet despite having plenty of health still around, Heaventime kind of got baited in there.
Wow. That was very, very close for St. Vicious, about twice between those two ultimates. But also at the same time, the Cocoon didn't hit from Heaventime. If he could have stunted that damage output for just a couple of seconds, it would have been possibly enough to give Hanser courage.
Well, Chris Wances has a red buff, has the Glitterlant slow. One shot, might have to flash auto attack. The red buff's going to be enough. Chris takes the kill. Hanser there a little bit too long.
First item, Morellinomicon.
Yep.
Gives himself the CDR that he needs and the healing debuff. Not that big a deal, but the red coming up big there for the slow.
Yep. Takes it all down. Hanser does have teleport, but he's got 12 seconds on the revive, so this whole wave is basically going to be gone by the time he shows back up, and Chris says, you know what? I could do some real turret damage here.
Yeah, he's going to go for it as well. At the same time, St. Vicious, he's visiting this bottom lane, TP up top, so they know that's not available.
There's Hanser. He's going to get 2 CS here. The 2 casters go down for him. But Saint is basically making sure... Look at that ward. This is so good by Saint. He's taking his time to get ward control down, to spot the enemy jungler, to look for where ganks and counter ganks might come from. Sees Patoy, does get seen there.
Oh, W too early.
I don't know if he's going to be too dangerous for him. Ulti's going to come out. They're really wanting this one. LoLPro go in. Repel's going to land. Can they get the auto attacks down onto St. Vicious, though? Ulti comes back to the counter attack. Exhaust is on. Patoy forced to jump away from this one. And ManCloud, he wants in.
Using his ultimate.
In range for the charm. Good flash. Just gets LoLPro away. But they're going to lose 1 million gold onto the turret and a couple of summoner spells.
Yeah, Patoy with the flash and the stand behind me to get out. ManCloud with the aggressive plays. The jukes from Fog of War.
Yeah, it's a good play.
It's good game sense.
Very good game sense. That was 4 summoners and for 1. That bottom lane fight. It was no kills at the end of the day. Both Patoy's, Heartbeats, and Heaventime's flash for just Saints.
That's definitely a worth there.
And that's going to be a kill because you're now 3 flashes down. So next time Evelyn shows up, you're not getting out.
And next Dragon as well, which is in 2 minutes. There might be a big fight, but LoLPro, they just keep slowly but surely getting a gold lead creeped up on them by Curse Academy. It's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I mean, Curse Academy
ooh,
that's going to be on a Heaventime. Bunnyfubu does not want that. Not going to hop through the forest just yet here, but ward coverage getting removed. Curse Academy making these guys fight for every objective they want, but they keep the blue buff inside that brush. That will go maybe to lot. It's healing now. They leashed it too many times. It's reset all the way.
That was
They got it now.
wow.
There we go.
It takes you as long to do a blue buff as it would a dragon.
Thankfully, Dragon wasn't up.
Yep. Looking at some problems there.
So this is the Curse Academy style, actually, is they are very focused on keeping a laning phase going. Like, Curse Academy could very easily have taken this outer turret if they wanted to in the bot lane, likely in the mid lane as well. They're keeping outer turrets up specifically to keep trying to outplay you in the laning phase, to keep getting the ganks in for St. Vicious, which are actually working at this point, 4 assists on him, and to let the roam plays happen a little bit more easily. They want this map stretched out towards the river so that they can keep picking you off for kills.
Man, I'm having some flashbacks to Season 2 before Worlds, when everybody was like, all right, don't take the turret. Remember, people would rage at you for taking the turret. Why are you taking my turret? Especially as a jungler. I'd show up to the lane and be like, let's push this. They're like, whoa, 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 why are you taking my turret? Don't take my turret.
This is nice.
All
nice
the time.
Yes.
And then TPA came in, and it was like, why are they taking the turrets in 5 minutes? What's happening? And then it's like, oh, the aggression wins the game because you give less time for comeback. But Curse Academy, instead, they're like, all right, we're going to start investing in this laning phase and making sure you can't farm, and then we're just going to take all the turrets at once, group up with this huge gold lead we've accumulated, and then we'll just end the game off of that. So it's a different style here, kind of harking back to old times.
That's the difficulty, though, is
Ouch.
basically Curse Academy, for their roams, they get a kill when they get a kill. And that's all they get. Oh, damage,
Oh,
ignite, that's
wow.
a kill. There you go.
Man clouds don't look at explosions.
Nope.
Walks right away from it. Has nothing to do with it. And Chris.
On the roam over towards Lod. Good satchel charge, though. Minefield's going to push him back as well. Now Curse Academy are going to cash in a little bit on turrets here.
Nope.
Of course, pushing against the Ziggs is a bit difficult, but bottom lane outer finally does go down. Big wave there. And Curse Academy turn right around for Dragon.
They get this one for themselves pretty easily. There's almost nothing in the vicinity. There is a Super Mega Death Rocket if he wants to throw it. It doesn't look like it's hitting them out.
And down it goes. 16 minutes in. 8,000 gold lead Curse Academy. Ziggs bomb down as well for a couple of minutes.
They're averaging about a 500 gold lead every minute.
It's a lot.
Yeah, if the game keeps dragging out, LawPro almost has no way back in this. They almost have 150% of LawPro's gold.
That's a gigantic margin there.
Yes.
Haunts are hitting a bunch of cleavers, though. Like, that was like 3 in a row that were like weaved through the minion line, which is really cool, but he's actually also keeping up in the matchup. Haunter's Mundo is working great against Chris, despite being the one who's getting ganked. Saint's got to be careful. Heaven Time battling, but down a level. Elise having a really rough time here. Get some help from Ziggs. There's the ulti in from Lulu as well. And who's going to win this battle? Haunter in the front lines. Lod's got to be careful of ManCloud there. They are trading back and forth, but the Jinx Rocket might push him back. They trade junglers here on this one, but Haunter forces a flash away. The Mega Inferno Bomb takes up 2, though, and LawPro finally gets signs of life.
Oh, Lottie! He just picked up 2 kills so easily there off the back of it. It's a 3 for 1 in the overall. They have to focus on this bottom lane, though. They do get the blue, and there's some little signs of life here for LawPro. But, oh man, they lose a turret in the bot lane, and Bunny Fufu gets control of the jungle. But they do come up pretty big, considering where they were before.
Well, again, keep in mind, all the gold for Curse Academy, like the large reason for this lead is that bottom lane. It's a 3,000 gold lead on the AD carry, because all the ganks tended to work there. He was getting all the last hits.
He's getting ganked. He's getting collapsed on.
Good luck. Little Lance is going to hit. Lod's got nowhere to go. He's got basically no health either. Impactful. Actually not going to land the rockets. That's a Valkyrie in. There's the big one getting dodged.
The dodge, the
With
weave.
Whimsy, he's fine.
Oh, he went the round.
All right. Picks it up. He's going to be okay.
Gives the doubles over to Impactful. A little sign of life there.
Yeah.
The LawPro just gets snuffed out so quickly.
There's a good rotation there by Impactful as well to show up off the bottom lane there and flank in on the Ziggs. So Curse Academy now grouped up with Ziggs off the map are looking at this mid lane. That goes down, and here comes the turret pressure.
Heartbeat 60 CS down on Impactful. Impactful just zoned him out during all of the laning phase. Now he's grouping up and saying, I have this huge advantage over you. We saw him chunk in the laning phase. He has an entire Infinity Edge up.
Yeah,
Sorry,
margin.
Trinity Force. But look at this engage.
There they go. Big damage up on Toy, but they're going to go back onto Impactful here. Heaven Time, though, losing a lot of his health bars, and Impactful's got to run from the bomb. Oof. Does get out. St. Vish is the only one to take any damage there. Curse Academy not quite claiming anything off that. Just that one outer turret when Ziggs was gone.
Hey, when you have Ziggs, it's very hard to siege up. And crack those turrets. So Law just doing wave clear, almost getting Impactful there, but he's got another big wave of CS for him. Just a huge lead over Heartbeat. Heartbeat's really far behind. Really far.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate for the new pickup. He's doing what he can, but hey, the Corky lane bully got picked up. Impactful and Bunny Fufu played it awesome, and lo and behold, Saint ganked a couple of times, and well, that's what happens there. Heaven Time still really not having a great series, though. I know he's a great player, but 2 really unimpressive scores in a row where I just don't see him do much.
So there's some things here that we talked about in the pregame, where it was the full, almost AP composition here for Curse Academy, at least the magic damage that was coming out from them. Impactful is 5-0-1. He is a big threat in terms of AD now at this point in the game.
Yeah.
So your power spikes are actually a little
earlier and on the right people as well.
I was going to say a little incongruent with what the enemy team would be building at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to be building magic resistance to counter Chris and ManCloud. But then you have to throw in an armor item at this point. Haunter, he's got his work cut out for him. because he's actually not as tanky as you would expect him to be against that Corki.
ManCloud can't stay for the pink ward. Yep, Patoy puts the shield up, says, don't you even dare try to sweep this one away. So LawPro get pink ward control for a short time, but they are basically just scrounging what they can for wards, trying to keep something up defensively. Zig's ulti going to stop pushes, so they are buying time for themselves. LawPro do have some great late game, but reaching there is a difficulty.
Now, fun little fact there, when you throw up your Unbreakable as Braum and you're on top of a ward, and they click the ward, it still redirects to you.
Yep.
So they can't kill a ward if you're on top of it and they're ranged. You have your Unbreakable up.
Unless you're Kale.
Yep, that's true.
Only champion, I think. Thresh 2.
Yeah, projectiles.
Yeah, I think they're only non-projectile range champions. I'm pretty sure Vel'Koz would get blocked. I actually don't know about Vel'Koz. He might also be like a laser, you know?
I don't know.
I don't play enough Vel'Koz to know. Now I just feel bad for bringing it up. I'm like, hey, here's a thing that I don't know about, but, you know, for what it's worth.
Hey, food for thought.
Yeah.
You made all those people out there think. The Vel'Koz mains are like, oh, my baby.
But is it real food or is it fake?
It's fake food. You're thinking about it.
I'm giving you fake food for thought. Patoy takes big damage, though. The shield comes out. He runs back to Heartbeat. Says, you know what? You take the rocket. Heartbeat says, all right, I'll last at some minions, though, at least. Monster getting pushed around, still under this turret, but he's got great CS. They go in towards Lod. Big damage does land the charm. The Jinx rocket is going to be enough to take down ManCloud. No, it's not. And now they're going to find another kill. Patoy goes down. Hanser is tanky, but does he have enough damage? Heartbeat trying to help. Gets hooked up, and they go for this one. They want Heartbeat dead. Looks like they will do that successfully, but Impactful's got to be maybe careful of Hanser. Flashes in for the Lantern, gets to it, but there's Heaven Time. Trying to chase on in. Hook's going to hit a Spiderling, so that is a kill picked up. Shield to Impactful. Heaven Time going to trade kills for that. Finally onto the scoreboard a bit better, 3-5 and 0.
It's 2 for 1 in the overall. So LawPro, you know, at least they're getting some kills for themselves. It was a prolonged fight. ManCloud almost went down, but Chris had nothing to do with that fight. His wild growth still up, his flash still up, so he'll be good for the next part of it. Still hit Lod with the charm on the backside. That was really big. And the fact that ManCloud didn't end up dying, even though he was burning, Patoy just gets shredded by Impactful. And this entire time, Impactful's damage, he just chunks Heartbeat. In pretty much a heartbeat. He's gone. Hanser getting chunked down, but then he pops his ultimate and just gets back to a healthy point. Whereas Heaven Time, Spiders came up big there.
Yeah, they
took that rocket for him.
Yeah, so started out as 2 for 0, ended up 2 for 1. Heaven Time with some good antics there and some good clutch plays to get the bottom lane dead, and shutdown gold is nice to have as well. Hanser 0-1 and 4, pretty tanky, takes a charm and basically doesn't care.
Yeah, and he has the Warmogs now, so his regen is really good between his passive and the passive of that item.
And the Merc Tread's coming soon, so we won't even be CC'd for long. Hanser, the guy to watch here, and maybe Heartbeat can clean up. Hook there onto Patoy. Dragon going down, will get picked up by Saint Vicious. He's involved for this one. The battle has begun. Lulu ulti onto the front line. Saint doing whatever he can. Patoy forced to run away. Jinx Rocket does not deal much damage. Heaven Time the first to fall. Now Hanser on full retreat with the rest of LawPro, but here comes ManCloud. Charm just barely dodged away from, and out they go.
There's just barely any damage here between Heartbeat and the rest of the team of LawPro. Lod, he doesn't even have his second item completed, but at the same time, he's not that far behind. He needs the Rabadons to start doing some decent damage to the rest of the team.
Yeah.
As you look over at Chris, he already has his Rabadons. He already has his 35% cooldown reduction.
Yeah, the big issue for LawPro's team comp, if they don't basically get a big AD carry, is they don't have the ability to chase kills down. They don't have much lockdown in the first place. They have some, but when Saint Vicious takes a Lulu ulti, he has the freedom to walk away if he gets low. And Hanser's not fast enough to chase him. Law doesn't have the damage to burst him, and Heartbeat certainly can't run for it. He's too afraid of Ahri. And this lets Curse Academy really kite out these fights and keep them all alive as everyone else is worn down by Impactful and ManCloud.
Yeah, and Heartbeat, the difference between his gold and Impactful's right now is really big. 811 for Impactful, 214 CS, 40 CS lead. Heartbeat, 140 CS, 0, 3, and 3. The disparity in items now. The completion of Berserk Greaves.
Yep.
Then Sheen, Phage, and the completion of Trinity Force, and a Doran's Blade on top of that. And a Vamp Scepter.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of damage coming through. I actually hope it's Ruin King that comes out for Impactful, by the way. I know everyone's been running Bloodthirster, but I personally like Ruin King more myself for the damage output, but, you know, whatever. I feel like whatever he builds will be fine. Void Staff comes out now for Man Cloud. He actually wants to try to pressure in Mundo.
Yeah, he wants to blow up Mundo, but at the same time, I do think that it might be Blade of the Ruined King, because against the Mundo with so much HP, it'd be a little more effective in the damage department.
Right, and again, it would especially make sense in this game. I just know a lot of AD carries have been risk-averse. And I feel like Impactful like bought Banshee's third last game. I feel like I saw that. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. I remember seeing it maybe in the LCS today, but either way, some pretty risk-averse AD carries. Now going to be the scariness now. Chris forced to flash away, pops the ult. He takes a Zig ult, though, on top of that one. Haunter still in the chase. Great cocoon from Heaven Time, and now Chris has to be all kinds of careful. Haunter finds the pick. Charm on Patoy is a lot of damage, but he's going to walk out just barely. Summoner heals burned by both people. Keep him alive through the Ignite.
And meanwhile, that was actually a 3-on-5 because in the bottom lane, Bunny, Fufu, and Impactful are pushing a turret.
Well, if that means a turret for a kill, that's kind of okay for Cursed Academy here, but you gotta be careful not to trade too much away as this structure falls down. St. Vicious now, gotta be careful. He's on the wrong side of the map as well. Haunter doing plenty to stop him down. Another cleaver lands. Saint waiting to get a teammate in there. Finally in shows the Ari, but still, ulti in from Haunter. St. Vicious, couple hits from Dead.
Oh, he missed
one
the
more
last
shot to go. Flashes, lands the auto. The Jinx Rocket not gonna land, but now Manco's gotta be careful.
Beast.
Haunter just doesn't take damage. He might get a 2-versus-1 double kill, and now Chris has got to be careful. Also in the wrong spot. Haunter with a triple kill now, 4-1 and 4. Heaven Time, though, going to take a bunch of damage. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time, but Patoy might just save him with the gigantic shield. Knocked up Impactful. They do get away. Patoy might lose his life for it, though, and he does, but what heroics by the Braum of Patoy.
Wow, that was crazy. Haunter ends up getting about a 2-for-1 at the same time. 3, actually, on 1. And he ends up with 2 of those kills pretty much solo. They do get the Baron, but they lose the inhibitor because of this push from Impactful, who was one of the biggest factors I talked about in taking down the Mundo because of his build.
So Haunter refused to die. The tanky Mundo might make it a very delayed pentakill. Zigzult comes by. Cleaver hits Bunny Fufu. Impactful real low as well. There's the flight. I'm sure a hook's coming soon, but I don't know if you're going to do much for Haunter there. He pops the ulti. There's a shield. He whiffs Impactful, but I feel like he's going to force at least a flash.
He's got super low cooldown cleavers. Look at that. 2 seconds on them. They're going to pick up Bunny. Boom.
He goes down.
Oh!
He's going to hit him regardless. There's the glitter lance, and Haunter can't complete the delayed ace, but still, that is 4 kills in a row picked up for just Patoy going down a little while back.
Haunter got himself a Thornmail too.
Yep.
So he's in a great position now to scale up into the late game. This is why Mundo has just come back into the meta as this huge, crazy beast, because all the top laners right now are AP-oriented currently in the meta. We see a lot of Lulu, see a lot of Gragas, see a lot of magic damage from Nidalee.
Yeah, and keep in mind, even though I feel like this pick of Mundo isn't so much for the lane, but for the team fights, Haunter has been up in minion kills the entire game. He's actually found ways to just last it with Cleaver, stay safe, make the right choices, and stay above Chris. Problem is he lacks turret pressure, which is why, again, the laning phase is actually weak, even if you do last hit minions. And that gold that Cursed Academy's gotten from Chris's pushing is helping them stay ahead.
And Haunter, he actually has 290 HP per 5 right now with Baron on and no ultimate.
Yeah.
He is rocking that Warmog and the extra HP in his passive. Just, he can pretty much duel anybody on the map right now. 3 levels up on Chris. He's got to run though, because Impactful's in the wings.
Puts some damage down. Great little lance. There's the ulti coming across. Goes for the knockup, but can't quite land it. Haunter, they're running with the ulti. 140 health per tick. He's not going down.
He's got a call. He's a very busy Mundo.
He is. He's got a beating to run to. He's running a little bit late. Starts at 28 minutes.
With his ultimate, he's got 1,400 HP 5.
It's a large number.
Yes. It's pretty much every 5 seconds I get the HP that Corki has.
Hey man, this Corki's 9-1-1 though, so he's been emergency help for the team.
Well,
Bunny though getting caught up by Cocoon and the Sapphire Shard. Heaven Time just takes him down right away. And Cursed Academy, their kill and neutral objective focus is starting to falter when they're getting killed back.
Hey, 2-item spike here for Heartbeat. Nobody on the team of Cursed Academy really has a lot of armor, so he's actually good without the last Whisper currently. And there's the Super Mega Death Rocket.
All right, good smite from Saint though. Can he get away? He does have Flash. He's going to use that. Bunny Fufu down, so no lantern for the guy. And heck, that is a kill for a dragon. The funny thing is, that's good for Cursed Academy, as weird as that says.
Yeah, Cursed Academy are going to come out on top with that trade, but there will be a turret being taken in this mid lane now.
Never mind. Better for Lawpro. I was wrong the whole time. Haunter going to run to the base. should be able to keep this turret alive.
A lot of magic damage here, and some minions take extra magic damage, so he'll start shredding these down pretty quickly if he throws cleavers at him.
Exactly. Negative magic resist on supers. Monster. Also, one thing that's cool that I kind of realized a few months ago, even though percent health abilities are capped against neutral monsters, they are not capped against minions. Cleavers destroy the crap out of super minions, as do things like neurotoxin, etc.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
So when you see those like gigantic Ruin King procs against or Kog'Maw W, it's like 150 damage. It's great.
They're gone. They're pretty much just gone. Very tense game right now between both of the Curse organizations, challenger teams. LoLPro has tools to get back into this game off the back of Hauntzer, and the fact that they're buying time for Heartbeat to start getting damage items, and nobody on Curse Academy, like you said, mages are burst oriented. A lot of sustain here from Hauntzer, and he's the highest level in the game now. Very close to that 18. Second highest is ManCloud at 16.
So Hauntzer very close to 200 armor. The last Whisper does get completed for Impactful. Smart choice after realizing that the Mundo is getting pretty big. I do still want to see Ruin King come in last, so I think he really needs that to make his damage, as some would say, impactful.
And some would say, "Shut up, freak."
Yep. No, that's don't apologize. You're allowed to diss me on this cast. I do it all the time to you.
Yeah, that's what the others would say though. If they didn't say it was impactful, they'd be like, "Ah, blah, 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 blah." No, I wouldn't.
That's fine.
Man, Hauntzer just being the huge frontliner. He's zoning everybody.
And you're seeing how much it's stopping Curse Academy. Like, this Curse Academy team does not, like, Game 1 Curse Academy, in the first 50 minutes of this game, looked like the same team. And then Hauntzer got a triple kill. And they stopped trying so hard because they realized how scary this Mundo is. Like, every single time Curse Academy goes for wards, someone's there to say, no, don't you ward this. And they go, you're right, I'm sorry, Mundo, bye. Over and over and over again.
It feels like it's been a really long game, but it's only 31 minutes in.
We're just seeing a lot of action, and like we're seeing a lot of phases to the game.
Yeah, and you're also seeing a lot of people capitalize off of kills. So you're kind of like, all right, we killed you guys, but we get one tiny thing. It's not huge capitalizations like we're going to rush your base and get 3 turrets. It's like, all right, we got 1 turret. All right, we got 1 dragon. We set up for Baron. We play the reward game.
Yeah. But here's the thing that's actually really big, is the fact that all of LoLPro's kills have been on defense. So Curse Academy are making these great roaming plays, these great pushing moves, and they're up 7 turrets. And that's awesome. LoLPro, all their kills are like, oh my gosh, we defended our turrets. We defended our territory. We reset the map to equal. But they have not picked up turret kills in a very long time, which makes it hard for them to cement their lead, because all they get is, well, 900 gold for 2 kills.
The ManCloud bush being checked there from LoLPro. Baron in a minute, the hook onto Patoy.
The front line is very beefy of LoLPro. It's allowing Heaven Time to build damage. You're seeing a blasting one join the inventory. It could be Riley's, which is an interesting choice.
Saint looking for the flank onto the backline. If he can get through that Mundo and they ignore him and just take everybody else out,
oh man,
might be the key to victory here.
Impactful took a bunch of damage, and Bunny Fu gets Cocooned. They're going to go for this one. Impactful's so low on health. He's got to back away. Saint will flank with a rocket. Takes down Corki. That is not what you wanted. Bunny Fu takes Cocoon as well, and LoLPro are going to keep on going. ManCloud is exhausted and is running. Hauntzer pops the ulti and probably heals against this turret. Not going to care whatsoever. Jinx going to put the damage down, and Heartbeat finally gets the Wombo follow-up 1, 3, and 6. This team will keep on moving. Finally, they get the minion waves under control. Finally, LoLPro can take kills and actually push with them.
And with the Jinx, they're going to be able to take this inhibitor as well. Are they going to push any more? They might just rush the Baron right after.
They've got a minor minion wave to keep them occupied in the mid lane, and out they go. Baron is the target here. A great ward on the retreat, and this will cement their comeback much more closely. They're down 7,000 only right now. Close to 5K after this. Are they going to set up a bait? There's no way Curse Academy should check this. I feel like they should just go for the inhibitor in mid.
And they might go for just that. Saint Vicious off on the side. Baron isn't actually being started up yet.
LoLPro are really pensive there. They could have rushed this down 100%.
Whew. The fact that Saint was in the wings, though, gave them a little bit of hesitation. No Impactful, no Bunny Fufu. Instead, they're just going to wait for those guys to back, clear that top wave, and then they'll be able to re-engage this. Super Mega Death Rocket once again available. That last fight, getting Impactful off the field almost immediately with the Super Mega Death Rocket and the Mega Inferno Bomb was huge.
And that's the worry of being a mid-range AD carry like Corki, who has to land auto attacks to do his job because Muno's just too big to die otherwise. is it puts you in range of champions like Ziggs, players like Lot, of hitting you and doing some initial damage and saying, hey, check yourself or your life's going to be painful. The fact that there is no locket still for St. Vicious. He's itemized his own stats over, an aura. You've got gigantic magic damage dealers. Ziggs, Elise, and Mundo, all very relevant magic damage, but no locket for the... Oh, sorry, it's on Bunny. I'm stupid. I'm just like, the entire point just falls apart.
They caught Heartbeat.
And that is not good, but he's going to get away just barely. And now St. Vicious in the front line, taking a bit of pain. Jinx Target comes out, but doesn't do much damage. Heaven Time forced to run away. Hanser still tanking up in the front lines, but forced to run away maybe soon. Heaven Time just flashes away, but now Hanser, look at that one. He's safe. He's good.
He's safe. He's out of there. He was regenning so much without even his ultimate up. I thought he blew it at the start of the fight because Impactful was auto-attacking him, but was doing nothing. Look at how healthy he is once again.
You know what's funny is the total damage dealt in that team fight was probably more from Curse Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Problem is, so much went on to Hanser that's fairly irrelevant. And there's the Mundo in a double AP. He had that one amazing battle where he got the triple kill, and it pushed him so far ahead. Curse Academy can't deal with him. There's no Void Staff still from Chris. There's no Death Cap still from ManCloud. And those are items that I feel like are required to break through this Hanser's Mundo.
Yeah, the lack of a Void Staff on Chris is pretty big, but at the same time, ManCloud has his, but his AP isn't as high as it should be. Hanser, he has so much magic resistance right now. Oof. 200.
Yep. And the way these battles work is interesting because Mundo cannot force you to hit him. He is moderate threat, but not super high threat that you have to go for him first. The problem is Curse Academy can't really reach the back line. ManCloud has to give so much respect to Cocoons and everything else that he can't just go for Heartbeat. And Patoy blocks it anyway with his shield.
They went for the top turret here from LOLpro. That leaves their bottom inhibitor exposed.
And the mid lane potentially as well. Chris and ManCloud, of course, have great wave crew, and the team is coming in. LOLpro, late recalls from the AD carrying support.
Hanser Patoy are going for a flank here. And actually, the vision is on them. They know that they're around there.
Oh, no. They could get picked up. Bunny Fufa going to walk right onto that guy. Hooks going to land. Hanser barely even gets CC'd for any time at all. Patoy going to land the knockup. They're just bursting him out. Just unimpeded damage and Impactful can burn him down. Hanser taking the wrong way into that fight.
Their ticket back in was just ripped up for a second there.
Yep.
Going to have to go ahead and get those pieces back up. Try to tape them together.
Heaven Time, do you want to look for the steal? There is no way out. You've got Repel, but no Flash. St. Vicious in the Baron Pit as well. Good harass coming across.
Heaven Time, he's going to go for it.
He's going to go for the risk, but doesn't land despite St. Vicious' great claim there. Heaven Time going to get ultied up into the air. He's got nowhere to go. Patoy will fall down to Impactful, and another kill comes through. Team LOLpro could lose the game off this call.
Went for the Baron for Curse Academy, and LOLpro, they're getting flanked now by Impactful.
Got to be careful, though. If he dies, they can't close the game. There's a TP for Chris. He wants bot lane. He's got a Lich Bane.
Heartbeat and Lot are actually still pretty weak in comparison to where you'd think they would be at this point in the game.
A lot of risk aversion, though, from Chris. He could get... Okay, he's finally getting the damage down. They actually sent the entire team over there for that one. Instead of pushing mid just yet, they could move across. Patoy dead for 12 seconds. Heaven Time dead for 15. Curse Academy. A lot of respect to Hanser.
Looking for the chase. Looking for at least the poke on the way out.
Oh, the cleavers keep on hitting. The slow swell from Jinx, and Curse Academy actually don't get the mid lane inhibitor turret either. They do get a 10,000 gold lead. And they are safe to walk on back, pick up Dragon, and they can buy up items again.
It's pretty much been a 10,000 gold lead all game.
True.
For Curse Academy. And their ability to close the game out has just been stunted by Hanser doing so well in that top lane. Just building appropriately against this team. That's really the big thing here, is that his build and the fact that the double AP composition with Corki, who has a lot of magic damage.
Yeah, but I gotta give credit to a lot of the guys for stepping up here. So obviously Impactful's gigantic. 11-2-1, he's doing great. Picks up a Quicksilver Sash as well, just to make sure he's not getting caught by Cocoons. But Heaven Time is really, I think, stepped up a fair bit. He started the game, I believe, 0-4-1, and has come back to 5-7-2, which is quite the comeback when you consider he has all of basically one tank item, and he's trying to participate in these team fights now with the Void Staff and everything else. And he's really done a much better job now in this mid to late game here. And the rest of LOLpro, I feel like, are rallying around pretty nicely. We'll see if they can keep this up and maybe get their way back in. Of course, in recent past, Curse Academy did get a couple of picks, and they got Baron, but maybe LawPro can hold on here.
Hanser's not there. Hanser's shoving the bottom wave out as best he can. He's TPing to a minion now.
Cocoon on a Saint. Bunny gets a caster minion with his hook. Not nearly as important there. And right around the wings, not going to get the charm out of Hanser just yet, but there's the Banshee's broken, and there's the dive on in. Can they burn him down with the Ignite? They're trying to, and Hanser does fall first. Bunny Fufu in the wings, barely catches Harpy with that hook. That's a 980 carry. The Mikhails comes out too slow from Patoy. This will be an inhibitor. The flash hook not quite going to land for Bunny Fufu, but they've still made their way in.
With Hanser off the field. Oh,
the flash charm for ManCloud will claim Patoy in the back lines. Impactful has been life-stealing up and actually survives against Heaven Time. That's going to be Law dying as well. This will be GG on top of this one. Curse Academy just have to take down the buildings to close this one out, but they will take the semifinal 2-0.
They beat up their younger brother and put LawPro into the third, fourth place match against Team 8. And Curse Academy, they're going to be here in person next week trying to take on Coast.
And they're going to go for kind of an avenge battle now against Team Coast. He already took down LawPro last time around in the finals. Now it's Curse Academy's turn to take a swing at these guys. And hey, look, Curse Academy, a small falter in the mid game, but I gotta say, their early game is so freaking good, and their ability to keep the neutrals under control is by and large awesome as well.
Yeah, every time we see Curse Academy, we always talk about how good their first 7 minutes of the game are. Even when it was a different Curse Academy
That's
team.
true.
It was like, oh, Rux's first 7 minutes of the game, his decision-making is great. Now it's a completely different roster.
Sure.
And Curse Academy's first 7 minutes of the game are fantastic. And
Yeah.
they play it perfectly with the facilitation of St. Vicious, and also the fact in that late game, the targeting Hanser a little too far forward at one point,
Yeah.
actually a couple points there, and then the flank and not being conscious of where the enemy team had vision was really the nail in the coffin there for LawPro.
And it is so hard to play from behind for like 25
Big
minutes.
props to them, though.
Yeah,
That
I
was
mean,
huge.
they got a lot of picks back. They defended all the ward spots that Saint kept going for. You saw pick after pick after pick saying, if you ward this brush, you're going to get satchel charged or hit up by a Braum Q or something. So that was very impressive by LawPro. Yes, basically exactly 2 missteps by Hanser. Otherwise, an almost immaculate game by him, and he put the game on his back as best he could. Unfortunately, though, for LawPro, bot lane got really far behind. Heartbeat was always an item behind Impactful, which is a significant margin for an 80 carry. That's a difficult place to be in.
Yeah, a little bit more than a single item, too. It was really just this huge disparity between them that was causing all of this just bulk of damage to be on one team's favor and not the other. Like, you had this gigantic tank in Hanser, but then you had the persistent damage threat of Impactful on the other side, and it was kind of like the unstoppable force, immovable object beating each other, and then the unstoppable force came out on top and Impactful.
Yep, and that was really good. The Corki did great. The ganks all worked out, and it was thankful for these guys that all the kills went onto the Corki. They didn't get grabbed up by Saint or by Patoy, if I'm remembering the players properly. Nope, Bunny Fufu. There we go. That's what I was going for. But either way, right, just Corki got fed, did a great job, and of course a wonderful game at Curse Academy in a 2-0. So after today's matchup, the finals are set, guys. Curse Academy advances to the Summer 2 Finals to face Team Coast live in Los Angeles after the LCS next Saturday, August 22nd. Second. Wow. I read 2 numbers there.
And even though they fell short today, don't worry, I got your back. Team LawPro will compete against Team 8 for 3rd place on Friday, August 1st.
But before then, there is, of course, a super amount of LCS games to tide you over. On Tuesday, the European LCS kicks off the final Super Week of summer when Gambit faces the Copenhagen Wolves and Rocket battles Alliance.
Then the Copenhagen Wolves face Fnatic, Millennium goes up against SK Gaming, and Fnatic battles the Super Hot Crew. It all starts at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 4:30 p.m. Central European Summer Time with the LCS preview show that you don't want to miss.
Of course you don't. And of course, with that, though, we've reached the end of our time together tonight. Before we go, I do want to say thanks again to our friends at Coca-Cola. And now for myself, Zyrene, and the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching. Good night. GG. We'll see you in a day and a half. The Hanser force a flash away. The Mega in front. Inferno Bomb! Lulu ulti onto the front line, Saint doing whatever he can. Patoy forced to run away. Jinx Rocket does not do much damage. Heaven Time the first to fall now, but now Man's gotta be careful. Hanser just doesn't take damage. He might get a 2 versus 1 double kill, and now Chris has got to be careful. Impactful took a bunch of damage, and Bunny Fu against Sakuda. They're going to go for this one. Impactful's so low on health. He's got to back away. Saint will flank with a rocket. Takes down Corki, and Heaven Time going to get ultied up into the air. He's got nowhere to go. Patoy will fall down to Impactful, and another kill comes through, but there's the Banshee's broken, and there's the dive on in. Can they burn him down with the Ignite? They're trying to, and Hanser does fall first. Bunny Fufu in the wings, barely catches Heartbeat with that hook. That's a net 80 carry. The Mikhails comes out too slow from Patoy.